Hello. I've done a full take of this once already, and I'm not going to release that one. I think I'm going to redo all of this. Today, this video is going to talk about what's going on in Ottawa, what's going on around the world, what's going on with the Magic the Gathering community, and how they're attacking a well-known artist over his stance, over his want for freedoms. This is ridiculous. I'm seeing some people be completely vile. I've seen people in the protests be absolutely degrading. They're what's happening in with the around the war memorial and all this other stuff. All of that is bad, but the media, from what I've seen, is trying to spin that as that's what they're all doing, and that's not the case. They're doing a stand-in much similar to like Occupy Wall Street when years ago, there all these truck drivers have driven into Ottawa and done a stand-in. And now we have Seth McKinnon of Magic the Gathering. He's a well-known Magic the Gathering artist. His art is absolutely amazing. I've fallen in love with all of his art for since I've seen his first pieces. And he went to the protest, and he tries to tell you that the protests are not what they are claiming they are. The media has almost blacked out what's going on with all of this stuff, and I think it's worthy of talking about. So let's start with the top. We've got Seb McKinnon's Instagram here, holding a Canadian flag. I am Canadian as well. This is ideal. Like what I've seen in the last 2 years is not working. It's not working. Putting in all of these mandates, putting in all of these things where you have to have a QR code to go into a restaurant does not help. What's it preventing? It doesn't. It's already known. It doesn't prevent it. It continues to spread where it goes. So no matter what, if you get the poke or not, the chances are you've either already had it or you're likely to get it. There's a level of risk here where if you feel that you can't take the risk, or you don't want to take the risk, the best thing to do is to talk to your doctor and discuss with your doctor and go through the best method that you think is possible. If you don't talk to your doctor, then you don't really have a choice in the matter. Your choice is, quite frankly, you either get it or you don't, and that's up to you. It's a personal choice. I personally have the poke. I went out there and got it pretty much the day I could get it. Why? Because I was scared to death of getting this absolute train wreck of a disease that is going to wreak havoc on my system because I am immune compromised. However, that does not mean that I'm not going to intermingle with people that aren't vaccinated, that don't have the poke. If you go out there and you don't have the vaccine, and there's no reason for me not to interact with you. Why? You're still a human being. This is a really bad situation in the world right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're telling me that I can't go out there and spend time with someone that hasn't gone out to get the poke. They haven't gone out and done what they believe is something that's going to do harm to them. Hesitancy for the vaccine is whatever. If you don't want to get it, I'm not going to blame you. I'm going to accept that you don't want to put that into your body. Just like I'm going to accept that you are a smoker, but if you're a smoker, I'm going to walk the other way and not really stand there as you smoke. I'll talk to you after you're done having your smoke, but there's nothing difference with that. The main difference between those two analogies, though, is one, you're putting it into your body willingly. You're putting whatever into your body willingly, and I'm not going to stand there and take it. what we are seeing with this virus is there is no preventing it. You're not going to prevent it. You can mask up all you want, but if you're not doing proper hygiene and proper steps to mitigate it, even with the mask on, you're still going to probably get sick, or you've already had it at this point. From everything I've seen, we're in what I have been calling a fire break scenario. This scenario is going to move forward. We're going to see it's much, and why do I call it a fire break scenario? It's much like when you have a forest fire or a field that's on fire and you need to save certain things. So what you do is you go and make a new line of the fire, and then the first fire burns out, the next one continues on. But then ultimately, if you do it in such a way, it can completely destroy everything and just peter out, because then if you can make them collide, then they're done. Right? And that's where I'm saying it's a fire break scenario, because everyone's immune system is working the way it's supposed to at this point. When very early on, steps were mitigated. I was sent home from work for 3 months because no one knew how to react to this. Now, 2 years later, we all look at it and go, okay, well, that was a bad thing. That was probably one of the worst things we could have done, because it's made more people sick, created more mental health problems, and has foregone people getting the help they need for certain situations. Seb McKinnon, yesterday I traveled to Ottawa with my family to support the Trucker Freedom Convoy. The media and politicians are trying to paint this as anti-vax and white supremacists. Don't fall for it. Don't be like them. This is vile and insulting, and good people there, unvaxxed and vaxxed alike, from all races and walks of life, taking a stand for the following: freedom of choice and bodily sovereignty. Plain and simple, that's what it is. It's the same thing that giving freedom of choice for people that want to, if they're pregnant and they don't want to be. That's your choice. I don't have anything there. Informed medical consent, no coercion. So pretty much they say, this is what it is. If you want to get it, you can get it. You don't have to. The coercion is coming up with forcing you to have it to get to work your job, forcing you to do it to go into a grocery store, forcing you to do this to go get something to eat, to live your basic human life. We are human beings first, not second-class citizens. A world without QR code passes, and I've seen people talk about, oh, he's scared of QR codes now. No, the QR codes here in Canada is our passport system. That's what they're using as a passport system. I'm in Alberta. We were one of the holdouts of this whole thing, and then the pressure from the federal government came down saying, you guys need to do this, otherwise we're going to take steps. So what were they supposed to do? The federal government is the ones that are pushing this agenda, and that is why we're seeing everyone move forward in Ottawa. Well, that's why we're seeing all these truck drivers show up in Ottawa because of these things. I don't agree with every stance here, but what I got to say is these mandates, they do not help. They don't help anyone. They put a pressure on the economy. They're making businesses have to choose over serving you or not serving you based on a code that is easily duplicated. I've seen people actually do this, not personally myself, but I have seen it, especially when it first rolled out. It was quite simply, you could take the PDF and just adjust it. It was absolutely ridiculous. I've seen the QR codes completely fail. They don't work properly. I've seen, it's a botched experiment to begin with. It's time to let them go. No mandates, tools of segregation and discrimination. That's exactly what is going on here. It's the haves and the have-nots. If you have it, you're good to go in there. If you don't, you're a have-not, and you need to be pushed to the side as the worst part of society. No, that's not what we're here for. That's not what people are. We need to treat people with respect. A year ago, before all of this came out, those people were able to walk into a hospital and get treatment. They were able to go into a store and support that local business. And now they're not allowed because the governments are saying so. They've enacted all these mandates, and it's really restricting to them. I know a lot of businesses lost probably 40-50% of their business because of these things, because people just won't go there, because certain businesses say that you have to have it. My workplace, you don't have to be vaccinated to work there, but if you're not, they're making you take a test once a week, and that test is costly. This is pretty much a tax on people that wish to have a freedom of choice. And that freedom is now coming at a cost to them for what? That cost isn't going back into the healthcare system. That cost is just saying that you can't, that because you refuse to get a card and a thing put into your body, that it's been completely put to the side. We're seeing reports of people mitigating the system at this point, where they're walking up to a homeless person, handing them their healthcare card, and say, "Hey, can you go get this for me?" And then it gets added to their records. Yeah, that's things that's actually happening here. People are bypassing the system, and that system, they're bypassing it because it's flawed. This is not the way to do things. This never was the way to do things. I said it from day one that I didn't want these mandates in place. I am fully vaccinated. I went out right away as soon as I possibly can because I have a chronic illness, because I am immune compromised. I got that for myself. I didn't get that to do the right thing. I didn't get that because I didn't want to get my family sick. I got that to protect myself. I took the risk of getting it to mitigate my risk of doing for living, to continue living. But at the same time, I accept the people that choose not to get it. Why? Because they have chosen that risk. They have chosen that it's a better scenario for themselves to not get it. And that is the one crossroads that we're at. There are people screaming at the rooftops saying that you have to get it. You have to get this thing. You have to. No, it's not 100% guaranteed. It's never been a silver bullet. It never will be because of the type of disease this is. You know, we've had years where we've got smallpox, measles, yellow fever, malaria, all of those things. That they're great. The meningitis strain that we saw coming out, I went and got that vaccination right away because I was in college at the time, and when I was there, that the meningitis vaccine was out there and was being pushed because we were having a small bit of outbreaks in schools and stuff like that. And I'm sure that it probably helped. It protected me. And this was before I was even diagnosed with my disease. And at that time, meningitis was preventable by the vaccines. This is different. This is completely different. This is a disease that's going to continue to mutate. It will. And the sooner we can get past all of this, the sooner you rip the band-aids off and we move on with our lives. The mandates do nothing but knock us down. They keep us in our homes, they make us unhealthy, they create mental health problems, and they are preventing people from going and seeing their doctor to mitigate the actual risks of heart disease, cancer, and the like. I recently lost a friend to heart disease, mainly because he wasn't seeing his doctor. He wasn't going to his doctor because of the mandates, because of the lockdowns, and it just became a situation where he got pushed to the side and fell through the cracks. And I still feel the pain of losing him today. It's really, really hurts that I know that what he went through, and now he is gone, and that really sucks. I also have a family member right now that is fighting cancer. They are having to go into the hospital, get treatments, they're fighting it. His prognosis is not good. But at the same time, he is not doing what he would normally do to live out his days, to live out his life. He is now sitting at home, scared to go out because of everything we have seen in the circumstances here. End of lockdowns and restrictions, which are damaging to mental health and lives of all, from the elderly to the youngest child. It's the ongoing battle. And some of these comments that are in here, um, oh, Seb, we've all tried, but this protest was vile. The protest took whatever hope it had left in the community and love and crushed it beneath the boot. I watched some of the speeches for this protest. I watched some of the inspiring stories that are coming out of this. And I've also watched some of the media spin the complete vile nature of some people. People putting on a Canadian flag as a cape onto Terry Fox and having him hold a sign saying get rid of the mandates is Terry Fox brought awareness to cancer. He did a lot. He died on the road bringing that awareness, and it spun a marathon every year that people run out and do. I also was doing some marathons, and I haven't done them since this pandemic started because we're not allowed to. It's not possible. There is a lot going on in the world right now, and this right now is the last thing we need, is everyone to be divided as we see what's going on across the ocean, overseas. We're seeing tensions rise between between nations, and I have to say, with my prime minister leaving the capital, it makes him look completely weak, and I wouldn't be surprised if whatever happens overseas continues to go ahead and the pressures mount even worse now, because we have a prime minister that can't stand up to the people. He can't speak for the people. He's not speaking for the people. There's a lot of people saying that this is a fringe minority of people that have gone out there. I'm seeing reports of about 100,000 people, and they're unconfirmed, that are in Ottawa. I'm also know here in Alberta, our one highway 4 has been blocked by truckers right now because they are mad. They are pissed off that they cannot do their simple job. Most of these people are not interacting with others on the road. They go from one place to another, and they've been doing this for years. They've done this throughout the pandemic, and now all of a sudden to say that they can't do it at the height of it, at the very end of everything, makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense to go that route, to say these things. We've also got Rebecca Guay, another talented, absolutely talented artist here, trying to speak to Seb, and I believe she's doing it in such a way that is kind and it's open. I'm curious, Seb. I want to have an open mind in all things, but vaccine mandates are the norm for attending public school and always have been. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. I went through school. I never had to show my vaccinations while I was in school. That was never something. And we've never been asked for our little one for the vaccinations, for his records. We have the records, but we've never been asked them. So I don't know where that's come from. We're in Canada. I don't believe Rebecca is. So it's a little bit different up here, but ultimately, I had to get vaccinated. So did our kids, for schools and other. No, that's not. It's completely untrue. How is this different from, especially given what happening globally and the toll of spread for the disease? Well, the toll, I got to say, the Spanish flu killed more people right now. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? You look at the facts of the history. You look at the history books and you go through them. And after a pandemic-like event, there is usually complete unrest. And this is the norm going forward. And right now we have a lot of propaganda on both sides. Like I said, I don't agree with everything this convoy is upholding. But one thing for certain, I want me personally, the mandates should be gone. Like they don't do anything. What are they going to do? It's not preventing anything. They're an unnecessary step at this point. I've said this time and time again. I've gotten banned in forums for saying it. And what do? They honestly don't do anything other than make a second-class citizen. And making a second-class citizen is segregation, and it's discrimination in itself, and should be against the Human Rights Charter. The noted MTG artist to yikes political stance pipeline. Like, I'm sorry. Dear Seb, I admire you as an artist, but as a medical professional, I have to disagree. There's been many medical professionals that have the opposite take. The science is ever evolving on this. Like I said, I believe in getting the vaccine. I believe it does help. These mandates do not. They are doing undue harm to them. But at the same time, if you don't want to get it, that's your choice. You just have the higher risk. It's not like they're stopping you from going forward and having a crazy, like, it's just driving me nuts. Those are laws developed society. No, these are new things. These are brand new things. They were put in place by emergency powers that the governments have taken hold. They are not laws that were developed by societies. They're not. It's dangerous, infectious, and serious medical consequences. It's dangerous to about 1%. That's what I've seen. Here in Canada, we've had, I believe it's just under 3 million cases of COVID, and 33,000 people pass away from the disease, or that have been claimed by the disease, directly to the disease. We've had many more people also pass away from not getting help for heart disease and cancer and mental health, self-deletion. We've had a lot of these things go through the cracks, and that is the problem, is all of these cracks, the cracks have formed, and they are getting bigger with these ideas. They are getting so much bigger. It's so tough. Anyway, guys, if you've watched to the end of this, thanks for watching. This video won't be monetized, so if you guys do want to help and support at all, there's links down below. I don't know what else to say. I believe Seth is doing the right thing here. I believe he has the freedom to choose. I believe he has the freedom to stand up for what he wants to, for what he believes in. And honestly, like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I can look at this as a logical thinker and a critical thinker, and I see the wrongs that we are doing in our societies right now, and this is one of them. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This is Proud Canadian Phoenix signing off. Have yourselves a great day.